April Fool's event is coming to an end, but which of these experimental balancing changes should they keep? Let's have a look. April Fool's aka Balanced Overwatch event has really become a favorite of the community at large. I had people in my stream on Monday throughout the whole day asking me when the event was going to start. The reason why this event is so popular is not only the googly eyes, Reinhardt yelling everything, or the funny voice lines for the ultimates. Although that last one makes me crack up every single time. Now, what makes this event something to look forward to is the experimental balancing patch. For a whole week there's a mode in the arcade with a series of both silly and not so silly balancing changes. And in today's video we're going to take a look at these balancing changes and figure out which ones they should keep. Now you might be inclined to say, Deemzies, you silly goose. That's not what they intend to do with these patches. And you might be right. Well, almost right. Yeah, sure, there are some really silly changes in there, like Mini Maga or Huge Brigitte. And for some reason, everybody was floating up during this patch. But Blizzard also uses these experimental patches to try out some of their future rework and balancing ideas. They confirmed that to me on BlizzCon. Kinda. Look, I asked the Hero Balancing team during an interview if they added those types of changes to these experimental patches to try stuff, and they all went, maybe? Which is as close to a confirmation that we'll get. But it also makes a lot of sense, because it is such a popular event and we as a community are not too keen on them doing all these types of tests outside of this event, so yeah. Now, I'll be listing the changes I want to keep from maybe to oh yeah, please. I have 10 of them in total and a few honorable mentions just at the end, so make sure to stick around. I'm going to start with Wurtel. First off, I love that they replaced all of his voice lines with him just saying his name, the funniest thing ever. But the one change I might want to keep around is the fact that his secondary fire will chain to anybody that is standing nearby, which makes a lot of sense. It's electricity, come on, that's what it does. But it also gives that ability a bit of an edge. Now, I do think they need to take a look at the numbers and make sure it's balanced, but I like it. The second one is Soldier 76. This is not going to be a popular opinion. But hear me out. Soldier being able to shoot while he's sprinting, but at a really high cost. I think that's a great idea. Nothing makes him feel more like a senile old man than when he starts to run laps, just trying to get away from the enemies without doing anything. It's like he's running his own marathon, but he's lost. I cannot believe that his brain can't handle sprinting and shooting at the same time. He's a soldier, for God's sake. But like I said, add enough spread. The next one is a bit of a double team, and it's a bit of a weird team, to be honest. Junkrat and Sojourn. Yeah, you didn't see that one coming, did ya? What I like about the Junkrat change is that he can set off his grenades as he wants. So he can throw them and he doesn't have to wait till they explode by themselves. I feel like it adds an extra layer to that part of his kit that requires an even better understanding of physics in the Overwatch engine. It's challenging, but for those that want to master that old nutcase, it's going to be an awesome tool. Maybe. And same goes for Sojourn and her Disruptor shot. Giving her more control over that ability, and when it ignites, is actually going to help her to reach heroes that she usually can't reach. At least that she can't reach with that particular shot. And the other thing they did where she pulls in people with the Disruptor shot, I don't know. I think Zaya would be too jealous. But let's not do that. She scares me. Someone that is in a kind of similar situation, but I definitely wanted to give his own spot, is my neighbor, Sigma. I was intrigued by the idea of accretion becoming this double ability, where he could either use it the old way and just stun you straight forward, or decide to slam down that rock in the middle of a group and have an effect on a bigger group of people. Now, it does make sense that that would be less damage and less of a stun than on a single target, but it gives the old man a bit of an option. On the other hand, I don't think it is super easy to pull off, especially if you're new to the game. But I don't know. Might be worth it. While we're on the topic of tanks, another one that is not going to be a popular opinion, but I kinda liked what they did to Orisa. Alright. The ricochet and explosion on her javelin is so much fun. And I know, the perception is that Orisa is already OP, but Blizzard has told us like multiple times that she actually isn't. She is not performing as well as everybody says. Yet this ability, if they gave that to her for reals, might actually put her in that spot. And, you know, if we think that she's OP, we might as well just, no? Okay. Reinhardt, on the other hand, is in the complete opposite situation. People feel like he's very underwhelming, while he actually is not doing that bad according to Blizzard. I personally think it's more of a case where Ryan is feeling a little outdated. He is the poster child of tanking in Overwatch, but there's so many new tanks right now that, yeah, he's feeling a little old. Now, adding a layer on one of his existing abilities might remedy that. In the April Fool's patch, that remedy is that he can reflect projectiles with his shield, but at a cost. The shield will shrink to 50% and it will lose health really quickly. I think that is a pretty good start. Now, on the other hand, I don't know if reflecting is something that Reinhardt would do, if it fits his personality. In my own videos, I suggested something different, that his shield would explode when it breaks and actually do AoE damage to anybody standing nearby, any enemies standing nearby. And that would make that oh moment into a typical Reinhardt moment. Haha, it's metal as hell. Come on, Blizzard. Do it. Someone that does have more of a reflective personality is Genji. And in this patch, his reflect got a bit of an upgrade. If he clicks his primary fire while deflecting, he will bounce back that projectile with critical damage. That is such a huge payoff for skill and exactly what Genji needs. See, every time they buff Genji, he just becomes so easy that any goof just rip through a whole team without any skill. And I'm not saying that I have the skill, trust me, I don't. But if you add this type of layer on top of an existing ability that requires skill, you circumvent that issue. And that's why I like it. Alright, let's dive into the top tray. Reaper. Look, having separate guns that you can control is kind of hilarious. It's also weird and a lot of fun. I do think that the numbers need some work, but it felt so good. Pharah, they actually gave her a hard landing, something that they have tried in the past. But you know, since they reworked her in Season 9, that might be back on the table, because it might work this time around. Now, it's not like she needs a lot of help, let's be honest. But on the other hand, giving players more control over their abilities is actually a nice way to reward skill. And the number one in my list, the one that had me going, yes, this should have been in the game from the start. Sombra. In this patch, her virus will try to spread to other enemies if the target is killed while being infected. Come on, you can't have an ability called virus and not have it spread to anybody. That's the idea of a virus, right? But again, this will come down to the numbers. But it adds an extra layer to that ability. It's a recurring theme throughout this whole patch. I really like it. But those were all of the changes that I would love them to keep. Now, tell me, which ones do you want to keep? Let me know in the comments. I also have a few honorable mentions, like cases that I would have picked for personal gain because I play those heroes, I like those heroes, or well, some stuff that is kind of on the edge of being a little too powerful or weird, like the Lucio buff, for instance. I don't think he needs a damage boost, but yeah, I'm never going to say no to extra ammo, extra projectiles, extra recovery speed. Nah, if they're going to give that to us, I'm just going to accept. There's also Ramatra's reversal between Nemesis and Annihilation. That really made sense for me somehow. It would have made his Hulk state more impactful, but at this point I think it's too drastic of a change. We're too far in. I don't think it's possible to revert that. And the last one, Torbjorn. I'm sorry. Those turds sticking to everything, even your teammates. Best change ever. But also very, very, very broken, sadly. I can't stress that enough. I love these types of balancing patches. I love the wackiness of them, or just the change in general. I really wish they did more of them. On the other hand, I guess that is what makes this event special. However, for now, that was it. A huge thank you to my patrons. I could not make these videos without you. You have my eternal gratitude. Check out this video I did on the return of Anubis. Click it. But above all, take care of yourself, take care of each other. Bye-bye.